Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Independent Blazers. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dan.
And
today,
Dan,
Joe, what are we going to talk about today?
well, there's an interesting disease floating around Thailand. There's a disease that's floating in Pattaya and in Bangkok and in Chiang Mai and in Phuket, even some parts of Isan. Yes, folks, there is a disease. And Dan, do you know what that disease is?
Oh, it's called the bitter expat. Is that the name of it?
It's called the lonely, miserable, bitter expat disease. Folks, you're thinking, why are we talking about this today? I had an experience last week in Bangkok running into an expat. And this individual, I'm not going to say where I had it, but he was an American guy, just like us. And this guy went on an hour tirade about how Thailand sucks. And I said to him, well, if you don't like it, what are you doing here? No one is holding you here. Nobody's holding you hostage. It's just like if you don't like someone, then they'll say to you, well, yeah, you have air. Only thing that's holding you back is air and opportunity. Well, look, the air is holding you back and opportunity. The Thais aren't holding you back. The expat community is not holding you back. But it's not just him, folks. It seems to be going around. Now, Dan, has Thailand changed over the years?
Yes, for both for good and for bad. I mean, I think more for good.
Has it gotten a little more expensive?
Absolutely. So has the entire world. I mean, America and Europe, they're definitely more expensive than they used to be. And
everywhere. Go to Australia. Go to our country. Now, yes, there are some problems here that could be annoying. Sure. Here are a couple of them, Dan. Yeah, two-tier pricing. Dan, have you ever experienced that? Two-tier pricing?
Only for the last 22 years.
Sometimes local restaurants, sometimes tourist attractions. Yeah, is that annoying?
Wait, Joe, explain to our viewers what two-tier pricing is.
All right, so two-tier pricing, for example, say you go to any national park in Thailand, sometimes they'll charge the local Thai cheaper, a lot less than what they'll charge the foreigner, charge us. And sometimes it can be 20, 30% higher, sometimes even more. For example, maybe a ticket costs them 100 baht, it will cost us 300 baht.
You're underestimating. Yeah.
Well, yes, I know. It's just an example. Yes, there's
at least
an example of two-tier pricing. Paperwork can be a nightmare. Visas can be a nightmare. And sometimes, yes, the bar girls can be a nightmare. And let me give you guys a clue out there. Chances are the bar girl does not really love you. She loves your money. Okay? That sounds cruel. The 20-something-year-old bar girl with the short skirts and the fetching little and the cute little smile probably doesn't love you. Now, if some of you out there married bar girls, I'm not saying they can't work, but statistically, there's been more nightmares than that relationship actually working. Yeah, I know I've heard of men marrying bar girls and being happy, but I've heard a lot more horror stories. And again,
yeah.
So,
and by the way, though, I want to say some, though, actually know the deal. Some of these older expats know the deal that they're marrying someone young enough to be their daughter or even granddaughter.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, not only are you providing me sexual services, but also you're my translator, you're my guide, everything else, one who helps me get around town. And typically when the guy dies, she gets an inheritance. I mean, sometimes both are upfront with each other, and that's good. But most of the time it's this I love you, you're my prince, I love you only. And it's not
I don't want to get bogged down on the point. We could do another video on bar girls in the future. Yes, does Taiwan have issues? Yes, but my point is this. Between 195 and 198 nations on this planet. Every country has problems. My home country, as much as I love America, it's not perfect. I love Australia. Been there several times. Guess what? There's things I don't like about it. There's things I don't like about, I love where I grew up. I love being from Florida. But guess what? That state's not perfect. Folks, nothing is perfect. Okay?
Nope. And folks, you're looking for heaven on earth, you're not going to find it.
You have to know the score sometimes. Yes, sometimes to me, things that get under my skin, Dan, sometimes customer service can be aggravating. But you know what? It's a small price to pay. In this country, there's a lot more good.
Yeah.
Way more good.
And I tell people that if I thought Thailand was so bad, I wouldn't live here year after year. Even when I didn't officially live here, I kept coming back and I kept missing it. And I said, no, I knew that there were some things I'd have to give up living here, but it's well worth it to me. The trade-offs are a good deal to me.
So I must have listened to this guy rant on a little bit. You know, this and that's changed, blah, 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 blah. It's getting more expensive. So I finally said, look, man, if you don't like it, just leave. Go back home. Go back home. I said, because number one, what we have to realize, folks, is we are guests in the Kingdom of Thailand. We are guests. Okay. I have a visa here. I'm legally allowed to be here. But guess what? I also realize I am a guest in the Kingdom of Thailand. And yes, everything is not perfect. But you know what? Guess what? I would think, put on your caps out there, folks, and think for 5 seconds. They're not obligated to speak English if they don't want to. Yeah, it helps the tourism. It helps especially the tourist areas. But when you get some of these guys I've seen them get mad where they should speak. No, it's called Thailand, dude.
Yep, the official language is Thai. English is not even an official language here.
We should be speaking their language. I know some Thai, but I should know more.
Yeah, I admit I forgot most of my Thai that I've learned, but hey, I could always relearn it. But by the way, I have said this very same logic to people who migrated to America and always complained about it. Always said, why are American people this way? Why is America like this? Some things, believe it or not, I actually agreed with them secretly. But I did also ask them, okay, then why did you voluntarily come and move here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? You don't like it.
They said, if you don't like it, okay. If your own country didn't do you good and America and the United States isn't doing you good, there are at least 195 other countries to choose from.
Right.
Oh, and never mind what I got accused of saying, but no. I say the very same thing to people over here. People from all corners of the globe migrate here and complain about it. And I think, why don't you just go somewhere else then? Funny, well, I'm not accused of the same thing as I was back in America for saying the same thing.
Well, the bottom line, long story short, I finally stopped this guy, like I said a few minutes ago in the video.
Did you tell him the STFU, whatever that's abbreviated for?
No, I just told him, look, dude, if you don't like it, go home. I can't remember where he's from. I think he was from Minnesota or something. Go back.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. Go back. Go back. Nothing's stopping you. Get your ass on a plane and carry your miserable chicken ass back to the United States. As simple as that. You don't like it, then just leave. Folks, nothing is stopping you. There is no perfect country on the planet. Yes, Thailand has problems, but so does everywhere else.
There you go.
So does everywhere else. But I'm telling you, overall, Thailand is great. Thailand's been good to me. I've made a lot of good friends here, both Thais and expats. I have a quality life here. And I get the best of both worlds. I get to go visit my family back in the States every year, and I get to stay here. And to me, that is a privilege. And I am thankful to the Thai government for that.
Me too.
And look, again, at the risk of repeating myself, yes, I mentioned some of these problems Thailand has at the top of the video. Some guys, like I said, some guys complain about the girls. Well, if you're going to hang out in bars, what do you think a bar girl's job is? To extract money from you. That's what they do. And keep in mind, do you think a lot of these girls really want to be working in the bar and hanging out with some middle-aged overweight?
We should do a separate video on that one. We should do a separate video on that one, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into it today. We will get into it in the future, the bar girl, because we will get into that. Yes, Thailand's not perfect, but if you don't like it, just leave. Stop being a bitter expat. Don't have the bitter expat disease. There's so much this country has to offer. And if it's not for you, that's okay. Different strokes for different folks. You're more, go try Colombia, try the Philippines, try Cambodia, try somewhere that maybe fits your life or fits your lifestyle. You can be respectful and say, this isn't for me, and just leave and try something else or go back to your home country. Dan.
That's all I've got to say about it.
So go ahead, Dan. I just want to say, folks, don't be a bitter expat. Go ahead, Dan.
Right. Now, in the meantime, please like, subscribe if you already haven't, share with friends and family who might be interested, bang the notification bell. It helps us, and I hope it helps you too. It should help the algorithm. And please follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. And in the meantime, folks, grab your independent mind.
And Blaze. Have a great one, folks. Bye.